We're coming at you live this week from the Johnny Mac Brown High School, where we're celebrating Rosalie and Ronnie B. Loudermilk's 91st wedding anniversary. I'm sorry, that's her 16th wedding anniversary, and we tickled to death to be here tonight.
We are coming straight from downtown Kingsport. This is Talking Sports with Rusty Clark alongside me, Graham Clark. Obviously excited about the wedding anniversary, but we're going to put on a little bit of a TV show in the middle. Talking DB boys basketball first, you have the Dobbins-Bennett boys game against Boone on Tuesday of last week, and that ends up being a 65-75 double OT game. You know, really was to be at, was a great game to be at. You know, Derek Steele hitting a three to tie it right there in the closing 20 seconds of the fourth quarter, coming back, and Boone both times had little runs at the start, and in the second overtime we weren't able to overcome it. Played a lot of half court. I didn't really like that. I thought we should have pressed a little bit more.
Boone, I thought, did an excellent job with their dribble drive offense. That's current basketball terminology for I'm going to take it and I'm going to dribble toward the goal and kick it out to somebody. They really didn't hit or attempt many outside shots. Took it to the hole strong. Chanley went in strong. Of course, Cannell tried to get you thrown out of the gym. Kevin Cannell, who we made friends with in the All-Star game, and he told the refs that they needed to throw Rusty out of the gym because he was causing too much commotion.
Would have been a good story.
It would look good. It would have been good on it. We could have done exclusive on that. But a game that maybe at times, you know, I thought we didn't do much help defense. We didn't. If they dribbled past us and we had a chance to slide over and help, we didn't like we should have. Derek hits the three. Devon Swafford had a great night shooting the basketball.
Justin in the post has a pretty decent, has pretty decent opportunities. Not able to finish on all of them. We really weren't great in the post area, and I thought that hurt us on a night when we didn't shoot the three as well as we needed to.
And, you know, we also had an opportunity there to shoot one from close in right there at the end of the first overtime, and they stripped the ball from us. I thought we might have had a second left right there whenever that happened. The officials convened. They had one of those three-man meetings, and they decided it was time to go to second overtime. So some things that could have happened there didn't happen. I thought Boone played very hard. They put themselves in position to win second place in the conference. Now, on the other hand, they came back later in the week and got beat by Davy Crockett, which evens them up at 3 losses with us before our next game.
And then you look at the girls' game, ends in a 50-29. DB kind of dominated that game. Gray had a very good performance with 20 points. Big night for her, another big night in the post. Spectacular job by the DB girls again on getting another win against a good conference opponent.
Hillary have any dunks in that game?
I'm not sure. I don't know if she's keeping tally on that.
I don't know if anybody. I don't know. I watched ESPN later to see if they showed any of her dunks, and they didn't. So maybe she didn't have any. But another outstanding game by our post players.
Got a high riser on the court. Later on in the week, we went to Science Hill and played a very good matchup in the Science Hill Gymnasium, which is such a lovely place to watch a ball game.
Relative humidity about 110.
Science Hill able to squeeze out a win. We went 0-2 this week, but a 79-75 ball game that our boys really played hard. First quarter, played great defense, hit quite a few open shots. Al Shai goes 5 for 5 from 3-point all night long. Devon has a streak in the game where he scores about 8-10 points in a row. He was exceptional to watch. And then a night where we had some of our other shooters cold and some other people picked up some slack. Darty had a big game, had a big dunk that got some momentum headed our way. And we had the lead by 6 points in the first quarter. And second quarter, Science Hill raced back and put about a good 10-point spread on us. And
Science Hill outscored us 30-11 in the second quarter.
Second quarter, they got after us, and they put about a 10-point spread on us, probably a little bit more than that. Can't quite give you the scores exactly. But then third quarter, we fought back, chipped into the lead a little bit. Fourth quarter came back and had the lead in the closing seconds. I believe it was a 75-74 ball game. And again, we let them score last 5 or so points of the game and turns things around for us, and we're not able to come out with it.
We missed a 3, and we missed a putback at the end. I don't know how you could ever be cold shooting in that gym. I think George Pitts comes back just to fire the boilers up for whenever Dobbins Bennett comes to Science Hill to play. They're building a new basketball facility over behind where they've built their new football facility. And most people would probably tell you they are ready for it.
Yes.
And somebody said the district tournament was over there this year also.
I believe so.
So, might as well go ahead and get your Hawaiian shirts ready. I've got a maroon one. And get ready to go over there and, I don't know, put some sunscreen on beforehand because it's going to be hot in there.
I know the shirt you're talking about, and I hope for our sake that it's not coming out of the closet. For my sake, specifically.
Oh, it's just because you want to wear it. Because you want to wear it, you don't want me basking in the sunshine without it.
Lady Indians against Science Hill again on Friday night. Played an exceptional ball game. Julie Osborne, 21 points. Hillary Gray, 12. Briasha Russell contributed, had a fantastic job. Mackenzie Lilly on defense did a great job. And with 44 seconds left, it's a tie ball game, 67-67. And then we end up losing the ball game, 74-67. Right there at the end, Science Hill went on, like they seemed to do against us. Right there at the end of the ball game, went on a little bit of a run that we weren't able to overcome, and ended up losing the ball game because of it.
Well, our girls continue to improve. The first time we played them, we got beat by 20. This time we're right there with 44 seconds left, all tied up, knocking on the door. Got to get to where we can knock it down. I really think, come tournament time, that will really be exciting to see because I think our teams know they can play with them. Obviously, Johnson City, Science Hill, knows that they have an outstanding basketball team. Adams was really strong at the end. Will Adams.
Yeah.
And I get it's Will and
Will Adams, Jalen Allen, Shannon Hale. They have 3 players on that team that can score in big numbers on any night. Can put upwards of 20 points on your team at any given time. 3 very good athletes on that basketball team.
Will's also a football player.
Yeah.
A very good football player. So that really should be, again, exciting come tournament time.
And then looking on into the wrestling this week, a big match for the Dobbins Bennett wrestling team to decide whether or not they go to state duels this week, the week that this show will be airing. We had to wrestle Jeff County last week and came up short in a 40-33 into the match. Came all the way down to the end, and we ended up losing 40-33 in a match we probably should have won.
Yeah, one that. Let's see. Let me put all this back together here. We didn't have anybody come off the top rope. We didn't have anybody pull a foreign object out of their trunks. But in the heavyweight match, our heavyweight Ty Hayworth was ahead. He throws the Jefferson County wrestler down. They had an injury timeout, and then when they came back after the injury timeout, the injury had already occurred. Soon thereafter, they called Ty for an illegal hold, and said because the young man could not continue, he was awarded the win.
A forfeit, which is a full 6-point win for Jeff County. It was a 34-33 overall team score at that point, and when he was not able to come back because of the illegal hold, Ty ends up losing the match because of forfeit, and that takes us completely out of it, and we will not be going to state duels because of that.
Struggling a little bit with that though, because the guy was already hurt. It was not the result of the illegal hold. Anyway, that's the way it bounces sometimes, and Jeff County gets to go. We did come back, bounce back, and wrestled in a 3-way match at Abingdon with Abingdon Tennessee High. And won that one, and a lot of excellent seniors on our wrestling team that finishing up Trent O'Brien, Jamal Steele, Bobby LeMaster. Who am I leaving off? I didn't write them down.
Kenny Gaynor.
Kenny Gaynor. Man, Kenny Gaynor's a tough one.
I cannot think of the last one.
Okay, so you moms that we left them out, sorry, email us. We've been trying to get some emails, you know. So anyway,
there still will be individual state for the separate wrestlers, but the team will not be going in the team challenge for the state. Right. So kind of disappointing for some of the kids that maybe not qualified for the state and the other regions, but overall, pretty good year for a young team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we graduated a lot of guys. We were in the state jewels and the state team and state individual last year. We were very competitive, and so it was a good year for our wrestling team.
Nowhere to go but up from there. So looking forward to good things from DB wrestling here in the future. The state bowling has been finished up, and Dobbins Bennett takes home 7th. Would you like to elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, you know, the only thing when I bowled, I just wonder if they had to go to the snack stand after the 4th frame and get a cheeseburger.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably a little bit more competitive than what you bowl.
No, but that's also a very good finish for our bowling team. For them to qualify for the state, that's a big deal. We got Dobbins Bennett cheerleaders going to a big-time competition here in the next week or so.
Nationals, they actually won the state championship, brought it back to Kingsport, and will be competing in the Walt Disneyland Nationals here shortly.
Yeah, we don't want to leave them out. Great job by our cheerleaders, and congratulations to them. Looking forward to hearing how they do in the national championships.
And then talking a little NFL this week, we have Jeff Fisher fired earlier in last week, and very upsetting to both of us. Something that we said we wanted to debate on the show right away. Very good coach, has been with the Titans for a very long time.
16 years as a head coach, 18 overall. He was actually with the Houston Oilers. And then they came and played at Vanderbilt when they were the Tennessee, nobody knew what. I mean, everybody was trying to figure out a name. They were Tennessee Oilers, I think, for a year. This gentleman here locally was trying to get them called the Copperheads, if you remember. And they ended up going with the Titans. And Jeff Fisher's been with them that whole time down there.
Outstanding as a coach, overall record 147 to 126. And for an NFL coach, you know, to be above 500, that's spectacular in the league because there's so much competition year in and year out, and he's continually brought the Titans towards the top of the ladder, got them all the way to a Super Bowl, and they lose on a last-second play.
Yeah, and here's the things I've heard. Of course, they call him Coach Average because he's about 500. Supposedly there's a nepotism policy, and he was trying to get his son a job as a quality control coach. I thought he had weathered the storm because they had let Vince Young go. But you know, I think a guy that's been with the team, the only people that have been with their team longer than Jeff Fisher, Tom Landry, George Hallis, Curly Lambeau. Who did he coach? Packers.
Sure.
Yeah, that was back before either one of us were born. No helmets. Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, great stability in the Steelers organization. And I think Don Shula. You know, so I thought Jeff Fisher had weathered the storm, and I thought he deserved to weather the storm. I thought he's taken he hasn't won a playoff game since 2003. And some, you know, people have struggled with that, but I think he's done an excellent job with the talent that he's had. And I hate to see him out of it. He's 16 years as a head coach. That's a long time. In one statement, he said he needed a rest. The next one, he said he was upset all about the whole deal. So, yeah, he'll be back on the sidelines for long unless he gets too used to that TV camera. He may be on this show with you sometime.
Sometime soon, I'm sure. My people are calling his people. It'll work.
Y'all going to do lunch, aren't you?
Yeah. Talking about the Super Bowl, which will come up this Sunday, Steelers, Packers, should be an absolutely exceptional game. Super Bowl in the past decade has, you know, come up with big game after big game, you know, close scores, hasn't been blowouts like it had previously been.
And this one has the makings of an old-time rivalry. Where was it? I read Coach Tomlin said that right after he got the job, said he ran into this elderly lady who congratulated him on getting the job, and then all of a sudden stuck her finger in his face and said, "But do not lose to the Packers. Do not lose to the Packers. We're not losing to the Packers. We are the Steelers." And great rivalry there for many, many, many years. And I think it's a very evenly matched game.
Both teams have superior defenses. You know, some of the top defenses in the league, especially Steelers known year in and year out for having a great defense, and the Packers have assembled a group of pretty young guys that have played great this season, especially during the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers has been exceptional on the offense. They don't run the ball a ton, but when they do, they're pretty effective with it. And then Steelers about the same way. You know, Roethlisberger, a fantastic quarterback, and with Mendenhall in the backfield, you can continually pound away and maybe get one big run a game.
Had to get Roethlisberger on that midnight train out of Georgia, not that midnight train to Georgia. It's obvious he's the leader of their football team. You know, I mean, they struggled a little bit the first month whenever he was suspended, but boy, he can make some things happen, and he's huge. I mean, you know, he's huge.
Playing quarterback at 270.
You got to be big to be able to put Roethlisberger on the back of your jersey. I mean, his name looks like an eye exam. But I think it'll be a good ball game. I've had a hard time deciding who I was going to pull for. You and I talked about this too. I was for the two teams that got beat. I'm going to pull for Donald Driver. For one, 12th year with the Packers. Does great things in the community. Was probably Favre's favorite receiver.
Oh, over the tenure, probably has all the Packers receiving records. Definitely going to have to pull for Driver. It came down to which team do I dislike more, and the team I dislike the most is the Steelers. So I'm going to have to say Packers all the way.
You know, Driver was homeless in high school. Read a nice article on him today. He's talking about everything he's overcome. He had 3 catches his first season. He's drafted out at Alcorn State, kind of like an afterthought, one of the last draft picks. And so I think probably, and boy, this is hard for me because, you know, I've told you before how when the Packers and the Colts played, when your Uncle Shelton and I were kids, and I'm a Colts man, I'm a Johnny Unitas guy, and he's a Bart Starr guy, and probably on Ashley Street, there's still holes in the wall up there where we tossed each other off of them. And the walls weren't real thick where we were anyway. So it's really hard for me to pull for the Packers, but I believe I will in this one.
And then looking on to some college football, talking a little bit about the UT in-state commitments. Had quite a few this year, a couple from this area.
Yeah, Brandon Downs and Matt Crowder. And both of them are already there. National Signing Day, Wednesday of this week. Vols thinking they've got a pretty good class put together. But they had Crowder and Downs from Tennessee High, Kyler Kirbyson from Knox Catholic, Tino Thomas from Melrose, and Deveron Young from Bearden. Still on the chart, Willie Carmichael, who took a recruiting visit there this weekend. From Greenville High School, state championship team, and some talk that he may go to a prep school and then to UT, but you know, that kind of came out of nowhere. I thought he was either Carson Newman or Tusculum at one time, and thought, man, what a steal, because he is a fabulous talent. He vaporized over there on one run. I mean, he just vaporized. They could not touch him.
He is, another kid I got to play with in that All-Star game, and was lucky enough for me to have him on my team, because he really was an exceptional player, athletic as anything, played defensive back, quarterback, halfback, wide receiver, just about wherever we asked him to go on the field, he was there and did an exceptional job at it. Very fast.
I don't believe I could have tackled him in a phone booth. He was that close together. Good. They think it's a good class. I'm anxious to see Marcus Jackson from Vero Beach off of this Tennessee recruiting list. I'm anxious to see Justin Worley. They've signed. They're going to sign another quarterback who is in dire need of the bigger, faster, stronger program. Justin Worley from Northwestern High School in Rock Hill. 197 pounds, 6'4", much like Bray.
Another big, tall, lanky fella. Hopefully he could throw the ball like Bray, because Bray did an exceptional job in the second half of the season.
Yeah, he threw the daylights out of it, and he's going to get some weight on him. All right, let me ask you this. What do William Brimfield, B.J. Coleman, Lennon Creer, Chris Donald, Josh Hawkins, Tyler Maples, Rolando Malankin, Kenny O'Neill, Ahmad Page, Dennis Rogan, Brent Benson, and Rufus Walker have in common?
They were all part of the 2007 UT class, and all of them left.
I was supposed to read that part off. You weren't supposed to know. They were all part of a great, very heralded 2007 UT recruiting class. Brimfield ended up at North Alabama, B.J. Coleman at UTC, where he had an excellent year last year, Lennon Creer at Louisiana Tech. Chris Donald was the #1 prospect in the state of Tennessee. He's at UTC now. Josh Hawkins quit. Tyler Maples from Maryville is at Furman. Rolando Malankin is at Louisiana Tech. Kenny O'Neill quit. Ahmad Page is at Louisiana Tech. Dennis Rogan declared for the NFL draft and did not get drafted. Brent Benson at North Alabama, and Rufus Walker went to East Central JUCO and did not get academically eligible to come. And in that class, those who stayed, Anthony Anderson from Austin East, Eric Berry, I'd have to say that was a pretty significant player. Kevin Cooper, C.J. Fleming, Savion Frazier, Gerald Jones, Ben Martin, Nevin McKenzie, Denarius Moore, Ray Sykes, Darrell Vereen, and D'Angelo Willingham. That was a very highly touted class, and I think I read
over half.
In the Atlanta paper today, Paul Johnson said, I guess we'll find out how good our recruits are in about 2 years. One of the things Wake Forest has done since Coach Jim Grove came over there is to sign guys that are very high character guys and they feel like will stay in their program, and they redshirt as many of them as they possibly can that first year. And they feel like by getting that extra year out of them, and I know this from talking to them, that maybe if Florida State signs the same guys and they stay there for 2 years and leave and go to the NFL, that can make Wake Forest competitive with them. And it's been a pretty good formula for them. 2 years ago, they played in the Orange Bowl at Wake Forest. Yeah. But the word commitment doesn't mean quite what it used to, huh? You get these guys flip-flopping back. I really wish they would allow an early signing date in football. Early signing date. Okay, do away with some of the early commitments and say, okay, follow their senior year. If they want to sign, they can sign. You got that in baseball, you got that in basketball. Mm-hmm. I wish they'd do that in football so that these people could quit flip-flopping back. Commitment means nothing.
Stop giving them so much time to decide.
Yeah, commitment means, okay, if things don't work, if I don't get offers from the other 3 colleges I want to go to, And the 25th ranked player in the nation in 2007, and this one will ring close to you, and you'll have to tell me if you think it was a successful one or not, John Brantley, quarterback at Florida. And I think next year maybe in Charlie Weiss's scheme, which will be a little bit different.
That's what I was going to say. I think when he gets out of the spread, it's not quite that, side-to-side kind of offense. It's more of a down-the-field kind of attack with the passing game. I think he'll do very well because that's just the way that's the programming that he's built for. He's best at doing that.
Well, yeah, not just everybody's built for Tim Tebow.
Not everybody's 6'3",
not every quarterback can be a fullback / running back / linebacker.
Or is that Bobby Bowden compared him to Nowitzki or someone along those lines?
Nitschke?
Nitschke.
Ray Nitschke. Yeah, the only difference is Tebow has teeth. Well, Nitschke had them. He just had to take them out at night. Anyway, you got any more on recruiting?
Florida has a really good class.
You know what I used to really enjoy? Talking about East Tennessee State recruiting. Okay, but we can't do that now. So, last week's Mayberry questions.
Barney was offered sheriff of what town?
Greendale.
These were givens. We didn't even give you multiple choice because these were so simple.
They're so easy.
The runaway kid, what was the boy's name that ran away?
George Foley. Now, he wanted to be known as Tex,
It's not to be mistaken.
but it was George Foley.
And then Otis Campbell's wife name is
Rita. One of my all-time favorite scenes is when they deputize Otis, and when they go in the house, since his brother's coming in, and he wants his brother to be proud of him, so they make him a deputy, and they go in the house and they show Miss Rita, and she says, "Now, Sheriff, as a full-fledged deputy, they would have to confiscate all alcoholic beverages in the house, right? Come with me, Otis Campbell." And Otis had to give up his hiding spot. It was underneath one of her plants. He said, "I hope your plants die." This week, since we're on it, here's our questions. Otis Campbell's brother, what was his name? What night of the week do Barney and Thelma Lou watch TV with a pan of cashew fudge between them? That's hard to get over, too. I mean, you do that for 15, 20 years. You do that for years, and you just don't give up something like a pan of cashew fudge in between you and her. And what did Floyd Lawson have the magazines to swing? There's our Mayberry questions of the week.
It's sick what he can come up with. The memory of every single episode to ever be on Mayberry.
Some people know that Lenny Dawson was the Kansas City Chiefs quarterback in the Super Bowl. Some people know that Fred the Hammer Williamson was going to be the guy to knock out Green Bay's wide receivers, and he got knocked out in the first quarter. Some people know that the guy they said was from College of None was Otis Sistrunk for the Oakland Raiders. I study Mayberry.
Sickening. We have had, you can answer all of those at our email. You can go to TalknSportsTV.com, Talkin spelled TALKN, SportsTV.com, and you will find links to our podcast and our feeds on iTunes, as well as the emails and the answers to the questions. They're on our website. We thank y'all for joining us. This has been Talking Sports with Rusty Clark and Graham Clark.
Happy anniversary, Rosalie and Ronnie B.